The Witcher of Flesh and Flame by Dark Horse Comics. This is issue number 1 of 4. And it's not that bad. I've read, I believe, 2 other Witcher comics. I forget their names. One of them has to do with Geralt being trapped inside a house with a group of other people, and there's like no way they can escape, and there's like some haunted stuff going on. And then the other had to do with a riverboat and a fox demon, and like the fox demon's daughter. Both of them were actually pretty good. Here's the thing about The Witcher is I played the video games and I've read one of the books. The games are actually, in my opinion, like tell a better story than the books do. The books aren't terrible, but if you love the Witcher video games and then you go in expecting like the same great story in your books, the books aren't all that great. Luckily, it seems like the comics are actually based off of the video games, as you see the CD Projekt Red logo down there. So, yeah, I've read. So this is the 3rd comic that I'm going to be reading of The Witcher, and so far it's pretty good. So yeah, well, we start off with Geralt injured, walking through the woods. And then some demons are like about to attack him until they see him in his Witcher eyes, and then they run off. Then he arrives at Novigrad. I will say this. This issue is kind of not the greatest start to a Witcher series. I mean, the other 2 Witcher books kind of hooked me in from the first issue. This one hasn't. The reason why I'm going to keep reading it is, 1, I mean, it's only 4 issues long. And 2, it's just because the previous Witcher series that I read, like, I've really enjoyed them. So I want to give this one a chance. I know I'm kind of like preempting my review by just saying that right off the get-go, but I mean, he arrives. I mean, we get some. He's trying to buy something to heal his arm, and then the person won't sell him any because he's a mutant. That's kind of what Witchers are. For anyone who doesn't know, like the Witcher lore, Witchers are basically like humans who have undergone like mutations. Basically, I think they've been infected with like demon blood to help them battle demons more. But people kind of are anti-mutants. Basically just think X-Men. And you kind of get the general gist. So yeah, I mean, they basically go to fight, and he just kind of uses his magic to hold off, and then he meets his friend, and they go to a local bar, and basically the setup is that this guy has a daughter who his youngest daughter. Basically starting to act weird. She's starting to become paler. She's starting to receive marks on her neck that kind of look like hickeys. Geralt is at first thinking, like, are you sure she just hasn't found, like, some secret lover? And this guy's like, no, there's no way, because she's kept up in the tower, and the tower is heavily guarded. He's thinking maybe it could be a vampire, maybe it could be a demon of some kind. So he wants Geralt to kind of check up on her. And he does. I'll skip some pages. So basically, what are the chances that the pages I skipped end up being her getting undressed? But yeah, basically he's kind of spying on her. And then it turns out that her secret admirer is just some bard trying to woo her. Woo her. Yeah. I'll even say even the artwork isn't as great as like the previous comics. Is it by the same artist? Because I don't remember the style being used in the previous ones. The color scheme kind of seems familiar, but the artwork seems just a little off. I mean, I'm not opposed to it. It's fine, in my opinion, but I'll I want to say that the previous Witcher comics used a different artist, and that artist was actually like I enjoyed them a little bit more. But yeah, basically he's using this little chest thing that to teleport them, and it. I'm not gonna reveal it, what happens in the rest, but basically, yeah. Well, I guess I can show a little bit more. So basically, skip some more pages. The chest allows this guy to teleport anywhere he wants, and apparently he's looking at some ruins. Like the chest now is acting different than it used to. He reads off the ruins, and then him and Geralt basically get transported somewhere else, and then shenanigans happen. I'm not gonna show the rest. There's about like 5 more pages, but yeah, it's just wow. This is really short. I'm only 6 minutes into this review. This is it's an okay, I guess. If I were to grade it, I'd give it maybe a C plus. It's average. It's a little, just barely above average. It's not terrible, but it's not great. It's just, it's all right. I am kind of hoping that it picks up in the next issue. This one also seems very comedic. I mean, it's not like over the top comedy or slapstick comedy or something. It comes across more light. I guess not comedic so much as lighthearted. This comes across more like a lighthearted Witcher adventure, whereas the other comics didn't. I mean, one of them had to basically deal with like a woman in like an abusive relationship, and basically being raped by her husband. Another one had to deal with like these sailors basically kidnapping the small child of a demoness, and basically they want to murder the child, and Geralt has to like try to protect her. And it's just like, it's a lot more like dark subject matter, whereas this is just like, I don't know, like we see demons about to attack, and then Geralt pops a little smirky face. I'm gonna move the camera here because I don't want to reveal it, but okay. We have this where we have the bard basically talking about how, in case I find myself involved with the fiery spirited sorceress, what thinks it only happens to you. And then Geralt looks at the camera and smirks. Like, is this Geralt? Like, Geralt isn't like super serious. I mean, there are some, like, he's very sardonic, and he has a very dry, sarcastic sense of humor and stuff. But I don't know, like, I'm just not picturing Geralt turning to the camera and then like smirking and like, like wink. Like, so I don't know. The tone of this does not come across very much like The Witcher. I know The Witcher has some humorous side quests and stuff like that. I guess it's just kind of off, because like the previous comics that I've read, I've only read 2 of them. I know there's, I think, a few more. Had like very, like I said, like it's dark subject matter or serious subject matter. It's taking itself serious. There's some like comedic lighthearted moments, but it's mostly serious, and this is just like complete opposite. There's really no seriousness in this. A lot of this is just kind of humorous. Like, even when you think, oh, maybe there's going to be something serious with, he's injured, he needs to get something to heal himself, but the seller won't sell it to him because he's a mutant. We're going to get a fight between him and the villagers, because the villagers don't care for mutants either. And then this dude kind of shows up and breaks it up easily. You get this guy talking to Geralt about his daughter being like in danger, and he's like very worried for her. But Geralt is just kind of cracking jokes throughout this whole entire thing. And the guy's like, dude, it's his daughter. He's thinking maybe there's some kind of demon that's like after her. And Geralt's just like kind of sitting here smirking and just cracking funny. And then there's a fight going on in the background, and Geralt just calmly picks the dude up and tosses him, and then continues his conversation. It just, I don't know. It seems off. Like, I'm like, what am I reading here? Like, is this really a Witcher comic? But yeah, I guess those are the things that kind of turn me off from it. And also, again, just the fact that like the story is just very eh. It's like, oh, Geralt goes to protect a woman or to see, like, some woman who might be in danger from a demon. But it turns out it's just a bard trying to seduce her. And then him and the bard get teleported in this casket to some other land and they get into shenanigans. And it's kind of like, okay. Like, you had, like, you had like a haunted house with really serious subject matter, like dealing with like rape and relationship abuse and stuff like that. You had again another one taking place in a swamp, it's like a riverbed swamp with child kidnapping, attempted child murder and stuff. And then you just kind of get this. It's just something just seems off. Like the tone just doesn't fit. I know it's its own series, like it's its own volume. It's not part, like basically every Witcher volume is kind of like its own separate story. It's like, oh, here's a separate adventure that Geralt went on, and then the next volume will be like a different. There's no continuity really, other than the fact that it's Geralt. But it just seems like a crazy tonal shift from the previous comics. But it is Dark Horse, and I have no reason not to trust Dark Horse. I don't know. Maybe someone who has more, who's more knowledgeable in the comic book industry can let me know. But the few stuff I've read from Dark Horse have actually been pretty good. I have no complaints about them. Then again, I've mostly been reading like the Alien stuff. But I have no complaints with Dark Horse at the moment. I haven't read anything from them that I don't care for. They usually tend to put out pretty decent stuff. And this is only 4 issues, so I am going to give it a chance. But it was kind of very underwhelming, and I can't give it more than like a C plus. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, the artwork isn't terrible. It's just it could be a lot better. And I have no problem with like lighthearted stories, but it feels off in this comic. Like I don't know. It just, like I said, I know The Witcher has lightheartedness, but it's more of a serious franchise with a little bit of lighthearted sprinkled in. This seems to be like the complete opposite. Like this is very lighthearted with barely any seriousness inside. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. I still haven't had a chance to do Hack Slash versus Chaos because my local comic book store still hasn't received it yet. But they have assured me that they have it, that they have ordered it for me. So I just gotta wait for that. So I don't know when I'm gonna be able to review that. So Monday is kind of up in the air. Like I have some comics, but they're basically comics that I've already reviewed before. This is like the only new thing that I've picked up. So if you guys recommend anything, I think the new Amazing Spider-Man came out. I might get like the digital version for that just to check it out. Maybe I can review that on Monday. But if you guys have any like suggestions for something I should review on Monday, let me know. But yeah, Witcher, A Flesh and Flame, it's okay. Not terrible, but not great. Again, just average. Really weird, just tone, I guess. But yeah, hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys haven't already, please hit the subscribe button, hit the bell for notification. Feel free to like the video if you enjoyed it. Comment down below, tweet it out, share it with friends and families if you guys want. Like, help the channel grow. I'm trying to hit 300 by the end of the year. I'm close. I'm very close. Hopefully I can get there. But yeah, hope you guys enjoy, and I hope to see you guys next time. Also, in case nothing happens on Monday because it's gonna, we have Christmas Day and Christmas arriving. Hope you guys have a great holiday, great Christmas, and I hope to see you guys next time. Later.